Okay, last night's homework was lesson 5.3 from yesterday. Our goal, again, just as a recap, was to write an equation of a line given 2 points of the line that are on the line and use a linear equation to model real life problems. Again, we started out with by being given the slope and the y-intercept and plugging in m and b. Then we took the y-intercept away where we had to find it. And once we found it, we plugged in m and b. And then yesterday, we took both of them away. You had to find the slope first, given 2 points. Then you had to find the y-intercept and then plug in m and b. The only new concept yesterday, again, was perpendicular lines. The sign for perpendicular, remember, being like an upside down capital T. They're negative reciprocals of each other when you look at the slope. So that means their m values, all negative reciprocal means is to flip it and to change it. What I mean by flip it, when you're looking at an example like negative 1/2, flip it means to do the denominator and the numerator, make one become the denominator and two become the numerator. And to change it, that means its sign changes from whatever it happens to be. In this case, it was negative to start. It becomes positive at the end. So the slope flips and it changes when you're talking about perpendicular lines. The first example says write an equation of a line that passes through these 2 points, 1, 5, and 2, 3. It says let x sub 1, y sub 1 be 1, 5. So we had labeled that as x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2 be 2, 3. So x sub 2, y sub 2. Plug them into the slope formula, the change of y over the change of x. Y sub 2's value is 3 minus y sub 1 value is 5 over x sub 2's value is 2 minus x sub 1's value is 1. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and 2 minus 1 is 2. So your slope in this case would be negative 2 if you simplify it. The m value is negative 2. It says find the y-intercept, so plug that value in, negative 2. Um, your x value is going to be 1. They're just using that first point. X value is 1, your y value is 5. And in place of your y, you're plugging in 5. In place of your m, we're plugging in a negative 2 we just got. And in place of the x, plugging in 1. Then we simplifying it. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So you have 5 equals negative 2 plus b. Get rid of the minus 2 or negative 2 by adding 2, and that's how you get the value of b. So you have m and you have b when you write your equation. Y equals, leave a little space, and then x, take your m value, which we found is negative 2, and plug it in right there. And then take your b value, which we just got as positive 7, and plug it in right there, plus 7. So your new equation, y equals negative 2x plus 7. These were the few you was responsible for last night. Find the slopes of them, and then find the y-intercepts, and then plug them in, mx plus b. So x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, using the same formula, the change of y. So in this case, it would be 6 minus 9 over the change of x, 1 minus 4. Again, if you went in a different order, look, check the answers. You may still have the same thing as long as you went the same way both times. 6 minus 9 would be negative 3, and 1 minus 4 would be negative 3. So negative 3 over negative 3 means negative 3 divided by negative 3, which a negative divided by negative is a positive. So 1 is going to be your slope. M is 1. Okay. Once you have your slope, you can use one of your points. We'll take the first point, 4, 9, to use as our x and our y values. You're plugging it into the slope-intercept form, which again is y equals mx plus b. Your y value goes first. It's 9 in that first point, 4, 9. So 9 equals the m value is 1 because it's m times x, value 4 plus b. B is the one we don't know. 4 times 1 or 1 times 4 is going to be 4 plus b equals 9. Get rid of that positive 4 or plus 4 by subtracting 4. You do that on one side, you got to do it on the other side. 9 minus 4 is 5 equals these will cancel and leave us with b. Now we have m and we have b. Write y equals, leave yourself a little space before the x, and then just plug in your values. Your m value is 1, and your b value is positive 5. Again, you don't need to show that 1 before the x, so your equation would be written in simplest form, y equals x plus 5. For the second one, again, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. We'll do this one a little bit quicker. Negative 1 minus 7 over 1 minus 0. Negative 1 minus 7 is going to be negative 8. 1 minus 0 is going to be 1. So your m value is negative 8 for number 2. Okay, use that to plug in to find what your y-intercept value is going to be. Y value, we use this as x and y again. So 7 equals, your slope is -8 times 0 plus b. Anything you multiply times 0 is going to be 0, so that effectively cancels this out of the problem and just leaves you with b on this side. So b's value is 7. Look, that's a whole lot quicker. And then when you plug in y equals, leave yourself a little space, and then plug in, put your x, so put your m value -8, and then your b value of 7, +7. So y equals -8x plus 7. X sub 1, y sub 1 again, so 3 minus a -3 would be 3 plus 3. Over 0 minus a -2 would be 0 plus 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2, or 6 over 2, that's what that means, is m's value is going to be 3. So you have your slope value now. We'll use, instead of using the first point like we normally do, we'll use this point, since 0 looks like it might be a little more friendly to use. 3 equals 3 times 0 plus b. Anything times 0, again, will cancel this out and just leave you with b equals 3. So both your m and your b value are 3. Y equals, skip yourself a little space, and then x, bring your m value down 3x, and your b values also happens to be 3 plus 3. For example number 2, we're writing equations of perpendicular lines. Again, you're still using this as x and y, but you have y equals mx plus b as an equation given. -3x plus 2, that means the slope of the first one is -3. It says that the line you're looking for, however, is perpendicular to it. Again, just from like earlier, perpendicular means the negative reciprocal. Everything's considered to be over 1, and that's especially helpful when you're looking at slopes, since it's rise over run. Reciprocal means to flip it. So 3 over 1 becomes 1 over 3. Negative means to take whatever the sign is, in this case it happens to be negative, and make it positive. So your slope of this one is a positive. You don't have to show that plus, I'm just putting it there so we can look at it. Your slope is going to be a 1/3, or positive 1/3. Plug that in along with your x and your y value in order to find what your b is. Y's value is here, it's 5. M's value we just found is 1/3. X value is here. It's 6. So all of those are plugged in. 1/3 of 6 is 2. So 5 equals 2 plus b. Subtract 5 on both 2 on both sides, and b's value now is 3. So you have both of your values you need. You have your slope and you have your intercept, or your y-intercept. So plug those in. Y equals, skip a space, and then an x. Your slope value is 1/3. And your y-intercept value is a positive 3. 1/3 x plus 3. The 3 you were responsible for were these. Your first one is y equals mx plus b. So your slope for the first one is 2. That's considered to be 2 over 1. You need to take that 2 over 1 and you need to flip it when you're talking about, it says perpendicular lines. Make sure you look at that in the instructions. Flip it, becomes 1 over 2. It was positive, so it becomes negative. So your slope is a -1/2. This is your x value and your y value, so plug those in to find out our y-intercept. 4 equals a -1/2 times 2 plus b. Half of 2 would be 1. Negative times a positive is a negative. So -1 plus b is equal to the same 4 that was still there. That says -1 or -1. Add 1 to both sides. 4 plus 1 is 5 equals b. So you have m and you have b. Y equals, skip yourself a little space, put your x. Your m value is -1/2. So y equals -1/2 x. Your b value is positive 5. -1/2 x plus 5. For number 5, again, it's in y equals mx plus b form, so you have your slope and your y-intercept of the equation that's up there. The only thing you're interested in is -1/3 as a slope, but again, it's perpendicular. It's not a parallel line. So you need to take 1 over 3, and you need to flip it and make it 3 over 1. Negative becomes positive. So your new slope is going to be a positive 3. Take that along with your x and your y value for the point that the line's going to pass through. Y equals mx plus b. And I'm just showing that just to where we can remember where we're coming from. But your y value in this case is 5 equals your m value is 3 times x value. And in fact, I wrote that wrong. Got a little confused. Your y value, let's go back to it one time, is 1 equals your m value is 3 times your x value is 5 plus b. And 3 times 5 is 15 plus b. And then get rid of that positive 15 by subtracting 15. Same thing as adding, but you subtract it. And 1 minus 15 is a negative 14 equals these will cancel your b. So you have an m and you have a b value. So y equals, skip yourself a space and put your x. Your m value is 3. So mx plus b, so it'll be 3x. Your b value is a negative 14. So plus a negative 14 is the same thing as minus 14. Y equals 3x minus 14. And then the last one again, y equals mx plus b. It's already in slope intercept form, so it shows you a slope. It's negative 4. Remember, that's considered over 1. All slopes are a rise over a run. Flip your sign, flip your fraction, since it's talking about the reciprocal. 4 over 1 becomes 1 over 4. Negative becomes positive, so your new slope is positive 1 over 4. This is your x value, and this is your y value. Y equals mx plus b. 3 equals 1/4 times x value is 4 plus b. Put together what you can. 1/4 of 4 is simply 1 plus b equals 3. Get rid of your positive 3 or I'm sorry, positive 1 or plus 1 by subtracting 1. If you subtract 1 on the right, subtract it on the left. 3 minus 1 is 2 equals these will cancel and leave you with b. So you have a b value to go along with your m value now. Y equals, skip yourself a little space and put an x. Your m value we found out, since it was perpendicular again and the negative reciprocal, is 1/4. And your b value we just found, or your y-intercept, as a positive, so plus 2. Y equals 1/4 x plus 2.